and welcome in our next guest on the show. We have N. Jayakumar, Group CEO and MD at Prime Securities with us. Jakes, thanks so much for being with us. Always great having you on the show. So, let's get your market construct at this point in time, because we've had this pretty good rally, 22,000 plus so far this year. And it's the same leadership. The leadership hasn't changed. It's again PSU stocks. It's again CapEx stocks. Do you see this continuing for a while?
Well, as long as ownership remains peripheral and marginal, the leadership will continue. I don't think too many funds, especially foreign funds, and possibly some local funds have really sort of dug their heels into PSU stocks. So ownership levels are still at the margin, limited or small. The other aspect is that PSUs have been seen as a trading rally and people have participated. But my own feeling is that as long as ownership remains at the margin and not a structural shift in portfolio selection to include PSUs as a core holding, I think up to, and we are a long way away from there. My own assessment is that ownership levels being what they are, we are far away from a top in PSU stocks in general. But then you've got to be selective in this. I mean, you can't just pick up every rail stock and every oil OMC stock and expect that you should make money. So I think we need to be selectively bullish. So there could be certain metal plays, there could be certain CapEx plays in the PSU space without mentioning stock names, which I can say we are very bullish about, or OMCs in general. So these could be 3-4 pockets that we kind of like. But as I said, we are far away from a PSU top anytime soon.
Okay. Far away from a top in PSU stocks anytime soon. Jakes, hi, good afternoon. Good to see you. It's been a while. I'm not sure you're in Mumbai or in Alibag. Where are we talking to you from?
As of now in the well-populated, well-populated areas of Mumbai.
You can say the same thing about Alibag. It's well. True.
They're equally well-populated.
Actually, that's quite true. But the air quality is a tad different in Alibag. But having said that, I think for the moment it's in Bombay.
No, thank God. Last 1 week, at least in Mumbai, I mean, has been a little better as compared to before that. Jake, so what's the approach? I mean, how are you? What are you doing? I mean, are you holding on to what you held on to? Are you rotating out of things into new things? Because there is a lot of rotation as well, right? Things do well and then they drop off for a while and then something else runs up. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. That's one way to go. But what are you doing?
You need to be either extremely smart or extremely lucky. And considering that we don't set ourselves up for these two attributes, we have to assume we are old school, we're a little slow to react, and therefore hold on to stocks that we like and continue to ride. I think the aspect of rotation brings about this thing about you constantly trying to maximize your portfolio. I don't think I'm in that either the frame of mind nor have the ability to do it, which is to grab every sector that's moving, every sub-sector that's moving. Not smart enough for that, and can't even say that I want to be able to get there. A lot smarter players in the market will do this. However, if you're able to come early into an under-owned, under-loved, and undervalued space, then to that extent you have solitude and loneliness on your side, and hopefully that will give you market returns. Because just being where mass public is and which is well populated is not going to assure you of profits. So you need to be there where you can walk a lonely furrow, be slightly ahead of the curve in areas that you get into, and hope that you can hold on long enough to be able to juice out the gains. So I don't really subscribe to the other aspects that you mentioned.
Incredible insight and wisdom out there. Jakes, a space that provides a lot of entertainment and drama, literally, is the media space. I remember you liking some of the names out there as well, in particular something down south. What are your thoughts on that? There's a lot of deals, possibility, and a lot of merger, acquisition, denials, all these things happening. How are you positioned here?
The big elephant in the room right now is Z. And, my personal feeling is until that sorts itself out, there will be speculation galore. It's unfortunate what it's had to endure over this period of time. And while it's going through its own sort of trials and tribulations, the other players in the space, whether down south or in the west, are all consolidating pretty well. And my own sense is that pricing power, advertising, subscription revenues, all these have improved in this space. And my own assessment is that consolidation can only lead to a greater habit formation for the players who exist. So I'm bullish about the space for 2-3 reasons. One, again, because it's under-owned, it's got a very low weightage on some of the benchmark parameters that exist. It's got very little ownership in most of the companies. And since the solid companies are largely unlevered, in fact, sitting on cash, I think it's a good space to be in. And most of them have consolidated well. And other than the marginal losing of market share or gaining in regional areas, most of the general entertainment channels, etc., have well-defined leaders. So I quite like the space. I think it's, again, as I said, a space that not too many people are there. And therefore, to that extent, well, people can, cry themselves hoarse or go blue in the face saying that company, this large group in the South doesn't have corporate governance, or that group in the West has this issue. The reality is most of these are not borrowing, they're not raising money, and they're good balance sheets. And, we need to assess some of these and say we'll take our chances. Multiples are low, valuations are attractive. Therefore, I think it calls for attention in terms of investments.
Okay, fair enough. So some homework perhaps required, and then you can pick the ones that could be winners. Jake's a little short conversation today. We are a little sort of low on time, but thank you very much. Very insightful inputs that you've shared, and we look forward to more the next time you're on the show.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. With that, we do have to hit a quick break.